Hello everybody, this is Sakura Diesel here, and welcome to the commentary for my 3rd year anniversary of being on YouTube. And I've decided that this commentary, I'm going to be doing a commentary of my last YouTube anniversary, which is the history on Thomas the Tank Engine. I was saying that, as I'm recording this right now, I'm really surprised about the recognition that this 8-part series is getting. I really didn't think it would go this far. As of right now, I think it's almost over, 5,000 views and 26 likes, if I'm correct. That's really surprised. I just want to take the time and say, thank you all for the views and likes for the 8 parts and such. I really didn't think this would go as well as as I made it out to be. When I did this, I knew I wanted to do something for my 2nd anniversary, but I didn't know what. My first thought, I'll probably do a review, a movie I really hate. And, I was thinking of reviewing a Troll in Central Park, because, it was one of those movies that I was in range with. But, I think maybe I was thinking about, doing a Let's Play or something, or a Q&A, but I dropped the Q&A for now, because I didn't have that much subscribers yet, so I decided to leave the Q&A for now. And then, I saw Animat. If you don't know who Animat is, he's the guy who basically does history on animation. He does one for Disney, DreamWorks, Hanna-Barbera, and all that stuff. And I really liked his stuff, and I thought, well, why don't I try something like he does? So I had 2 thoughts for this. Actually, I had 3. One, I thought, would it be cool if I did a history on, what if I did a history on Nintendo? But, I decided not to, because, I knew that, I started doing this in, December, I wrote the script for this in December all the way through, I think it was either February or March, because I had to find, every single research I can do to make sure that, I had, facts and such, and I knew what I would be talking about and everything. So I thought about doing Nintendo, but I couldn't because there was too much facts to talk about, and I didn't want to, write this whole thing down for the script just yet. So that idea was scrapped. Plus, too, I'm not really that much of a video game expert, so it wouldn't make too much sense for me to do a history on a company that I don't play that much games. Another one I was thinking about was anime. Anime was kind of a bit of the same thing, except it was more for the fact that I couldn't find too much information on some of the earlier animes, and again, I'm not a big anime nerd. I've watched some animes. I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and all that stuff, and I even watched some newer ones like Attack on Titan, Death Parade, all that stuff. But I didn't know too much about anime, and I didn't know what shows for each anime or movies that what I want to put on the review. And plus, so I know that Animat is going to probably do one soon in the near future, so I decided not to do that. So then I looked, because I know people have done, this isn't the first time anyone's done a history on Thomas the Tank Engine. I know at least 2 people have done it. I don't know one of the users' names, but I do know that Chris Thomason, or Thomas, Percy, and Toby too, did a history on Thomas the Tank Engine for the 65 years that Thomas has been on. And I wanted to try something like this, but I wanted to do it different. One of the things that I wanted to do different was explain a bit more on the history, because with Chris's history on Thomas the Tank Engine, he does explain how some of this started, but he doesn't explain too much on the behind the scenes, what happened during like what happened during the illustrations on the Railway series, or what went into making the models, the songs, all that stuff. Well, to be fair, I don't go too much into detail on that as well either, but you kind of get what I mean. And plus, too, like, I do also explain the differences in narrator terms of UK and US. Again, Thomas Percy and Toby, too, was more on the UK, which makes sense since, like, he's from the UK and Thomas was originally from the UK, so it does make sense on, like, why he would just focus on the UK. Here I decided to at least, because I think this was, like, during the time when, like, the 70 Years was coming out, and I decided to at least give it, a more of a respectful look, I guess you can say, just more onto the fact that I wanted to go into a bit more detail, and not just the UK, but how influenced it was in the US, because, as you can probably guess or tell, like, I'm from America, and so, like, I didn't grow up with, like, on the UK version, like, I only had one VHS where I knew who Michelangelo was, and that was the one with, I can't quite remember the name, but I think you all know what I'm talking about. For those who live in the U.S., you will know what I'm talking about. I think it was called A New Friends for Thomas. I can't really tell. So, like, and again, like, Thomas was a big part of my childhood, so, and I knew some facts about Thomas, and some I didn't know about at the time. Like, for instance, I didn't know that the series was based on books. I think I found that out during Wikipedia when I was looking on the episodes, guys, and they said most of the episodes from seasons 1 to 4 were based on books, and I didn't know that at the time. So I went on YouTube and I listened to the books, and the books are actually really good for what they are. Like, okay, they're probably not like Lord of the Rings or A Christmas Carol by any means, but like there's still really interesting books for both like kids and adults. Like they do much like the classic models. They tell interesting stories, and they also expand a little bit more on the railway and each of the characters. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this more, because like Thomas has an interesting history about how it came and how it is doing like nowadays and such. It's really interesting. I should also make it clear too that what I mean by reading the railways, like I've only read all of the Reverend Audrey's, well, except for the annuals. I haven't read the annuals yet, but I've only seen like read the first 3 stories of Christopher, and I haven't read the others, but I should probably read them too sometime soon. And yeah, the annuals, like I wanted to explain like how this was from the beginning, like how the dissolve came to be and everything. And to be fair, I think I did this like this is probably the most productive I've ever gotten in a story in a video before. Like this is the biggest thing I've ever done in my years as a YouTube person, and I think it's really interesting, and I like how this turned out for the most part. For the most part, it's like what was I about to say? I was about to say something, but I forgot. But yeah, we're in the TV series now. TV series, like looking at them nowadays, like especially the earlier episodes and such, like they've really like the one thing that I always loved about Thomas when I was a kid and such is like the story. Like I liked the stories when I was a kid. Like even nowadays, like the stories, when you think about it, they're actually really not that bad stories. Like, well, for one thing, they are based on the Railway series, so yeah, they're, of course, you know, like it's not really all that bad, but they are really like creative for what they are, and they do teach like interesting morals for kids to know, and also explain the basics of the railway. But particularly in season 1, it's been a while since I've seen 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, before anyone asks, yes, I'm still, you know, going to review I'm still going to review the rest of the seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. I'll get to season 2 soon, just not yet. Goddamn, really, phone? You had to interrupt the commentary. I don't know you. Piss off. Stupid phone. But yeah, I know some people that I didn't like Thomas. Always had. I even explained this in my season 1 review of Thomas the Tank Engine. But most people who didn't like Thomas always had the excuse that, like, you know, well, the bowels still move and such. And like, honestly, I could kind of see where they're coming from. But I think, to me, I think it's a clever idea to not have the mouths move. It's like, because like it kind of makes the railway, I want to say more realistic, but at the same time, like, this is a diet full of talking trains, but more realistic in the fact that, like, it's still a train and it still moves like a real steam locomotive and such. And like they still do stop motion. Like, I wouldn't mind them doing stop motion here and there, but like at the same time, like, I can imagine it would be pretty hard for them to do. And yeah, I still love this music even to this day. That's another thing I really loved about Thomas and Friends when I was a kid, was the music. The music was always my favorite part as a kid. I loved the songs from the classics. Like, I think some of my favorites were Gone Fishing, Accidents Will Happen, Troublesome Trucks, all that stuff. And the background themes were nice. I could always listen to the Runaway theme from Busy Going Backwards. It was always fun for me to listen to those musics as a kid. And of course, the characters were always fun too. Like, each of the characters were like, we're not just trains. Like, they kind of had the same expressions as like how a real person would act and such. And yeah, like I said, I didn't grow up with the UK version as much, but I did have at least 2 VHS where Ringo Starr was the narrator. One was The Best of Percy, which he only narrated 1 episode, which was Percy Takes a Plunge. And James Learns a Lesson, when he narrated all the episodes. But yeah, the show is still classic. Like, it's still classic even to this day. And it got some really good reviews from the fans. And soon, so yeah, it's been really interesting. But yeah, it's been really interesting doing this. Like I said, this is probably the most productive I've ever gotten to a video, because like most of my videos are like really short and simple. Like, I just basically write like a simple script of the review, and I just do a PowerPoint, and like, you know, I say my thoughts and all that stuff. Sometimes I do kind of stuff like a nostalgia critic where I show footage, but sometimes it's very rare, especially with, like, you know, the copyrights and everything. So it's kind of hard for me to like show actual footage on some of the movies and shows. That's why sometimes I prefer to do PowerPoints. So like I don't get that much trouble with copyright and such. But yeah, but yeah, like I said, this is the most productive. Like I haven't done anything big like this in a while. Like, the most recent one I did again was my season 1 review on Thomas the Tank Engine, because like I knew sooner or later, like because the idea of, it's a funny idea. Like, I think the idea for that came when I was like looking at like some of my old reviews, like particularly the My Little Pony ones, where I was doing my season 4 and 3 reviews. Like, they weren't bad, but I felt like I wasn't really explaining all that much about some of the shows. I think part of the reason why, because they were new and they just came out. And the thing with me about like shows and such and movies, well, mostly shows, but like when I review an episode, it has to be an episode where like, or a show that I've seen as a kid, and I've seen the episode like multiple times, so I can get my idea, like what I truly think about the episode. Because, you know, like first impressions and such, and when you do like first impressions, sometimes might not always be the same impressions you get from watching it again. I learned that by watching Hercules. But yeah. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to continue my history on Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm not doing part 9 because most of the reasons I've already finished. I've already stated the point that I've already made the ending and such. And this was still being made before season 18 came out and before Tales of the Brave came out. I feel like I don't want to do I'm not okay. I'm never gonna do another part of the history on Thomas the Tank Engine because I basically finished. I basically did what I needed to say about the background and the history. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about them. I will talk about Season 18 and the new specials like Tale of the Brave and The Adventure Begins in the near future. Which I've seen The Adventure Begins and for the most part it's pretty good for what it is. To celebrate the 70th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine, it did a pretty good job of capturing both the railway series while still trying to be somewhat of its own little thing. And it did a nice job. I think they did a pretty good saying a little message to the fans. Hey, thank you for sticking with us since the beginning. Here's a little treat for you. And they did a pretty good job. Like I said, I'll get to that soon in the near future. But my thoughts on the movie as a whole, it was pretty good for what it was. Again, I don't think it's not as good as the models, but for what it is and what it tries to do, it's pretty good. And yeah, again, even though I am from the U.S., I've never watched Shiny Time Station. I didn't even know about Shiny Time Station until the movie Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I thought Shiny Time Station was just, a tool or a setting that they use for the movie until I found out no, this was actually based on a show. I grew up with Thomas. I started with season 5 of Thomas the Tank Engine. My first VHS was Races, Rescues, and Runaways with Alec Baldwin. So that's how I got into Thomas and Friends. So most of the narrators I grew up with was Alec Baldwin and George Carlin, sometimes Michael Brandon too. And I mean, with Ringo Starr, especially watching season 1, I haven't got to season 2 yet, but Ringo Starr, especially in the U.S., he can be a pretty good narrator. He does try his best to, narrate all the characters and try to give them, different voices and different expressions. And I think he does a pretty good job at it. Again, that's another thing I like. And that's another reason, I'm also a big Looney Tunes fan. And one of the reasons is because, I'm always astounded, how a person or a narrator can do each and different characters and voices from each and different voices, and while still trying to hide their voice, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that I think is pretty cool.
After the big success.
So, yeah, I've always been astounded by it. It's one of the reasons why I like Looney Tunes. I didn't know, all the characters were voiced by one person. That always astounded me as a kid. Actually, it still kind of astounds me today. Nowadays, since you know and you're a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine, and, you keep seeing the shorts over and over, it's very easy to tell, who the narrator is, especially looking now, and the voices, even though I like George Carlin, there are some entries where you can easily tell that it's still the narrator, which is not bad, because, I understand, you can't do, all voices from all characters, but for others he tries to, hide his voice. He does a pretty good job on doing that. I give him big props on doing it.
During recording, Fred often stated was nervous on recording.
Yeah, my favorite. If I had to pick my favorite narrator, it would probably be either George Carlin or Alec Baldwin, but mostly season 5, because even as a kid, when season 6, I noticed that Alec Baldwin was starting to. I was starting to get bored by Alec Baldwin's narration, particularly with the engines. Because, that was the season where I could tell he probably just didn't care anymore, and he just wanted to get money. And, that's pretty, sad.
Like No Joke for James, Chuck
And yeah, like I said, I didn't know these were based on books, so like I thought all the episodes were just written by the same two persons until I found out no, these are based on most of these were based on books. It wasn't until season 3 that they decided to get a little bit original, which I could understand. Like you wanna like there's not really that much books to keep the show going, and you want to at least try. Hey, why don't we try and write something for the show? And to be fair, I'll give like David and Britt credit. Like for the episodes they did try to write, they weren't all like that terrible. Like there were some I thought they did pretty good, but I'll admit there were some that I thought were, and like even though I loved Thomas as a kid, there were some shorts where as a kid I wasn't all that excited for, even back then. I think season 3 was like one of the seasons where like even though I liked it and I still enjoyed it as a kid, even as a kid I felt there was something that was kind of missing, but I couldn't explain what it was. So yeah, I didn't know like yeah.
Britt and David decided that the next season would mostly be based on the Railway series, with the exception of one episode.
I'm still trying to think about
Season 4
something to say. I am gonna do another history sometime soon. Like I do have one planned for next year, but I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do a history of. You're gonna have to you're just gonna have to wait and see for yourself. Just so like you can know what to expect soon in the near future.
For season 4 onwards. Anyway, back to season 4. This will be the last season to have the episode based on the Railway series.
I really don't have that much else to say on this anniversary. Yeah, like I'm. Like I said, I do thank everyone for all the views and all the likes. Like I said, I'm really surprised. I really didn't think like this would go anywhere. Because like most of my videos, sometimes they don't really go anywhere that much. But like this was like one of the videos where like everyone, well not everyone, but I mean like most people seem to like, and that was I'm really shocked. In fact, I'm still shocked today. And again, when my season 1 of Thomas review just came out, I've already gotten 2 likes on the first day. That was like crazy. I think right now it's like 6 likes as I'm recording this right now. I'm sure it's probably gonna get more views or likes. That's a strange thing. It's like it's always the Thomas videos that seems to get more views than like not that I'm complaining, of course, but I sometimes don't want to be remembered just for doing Thomas stuff. I want to try to do something else. Not that I don't like Thomas, but every once in a while, like, I want to try to review at least a different TV show or a different movie here and there. Because I just want to do something, I want to do something more than just, like, Thomas or My Little Pony. Because I know I could do more. Like, reviewing is something that I like to do. I love movies and animations ever since I was a kid, and I always love talking about them to other people. So yeah. Alright, so now we're on the first ever Thomas the Tank Engine movie, which is Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and I should probably explain a little bit on this, because like I've never seen this movie in theaters. I was only 2 years old when this movie came out. In fact, I didn't even know like this was released in theaters. But I saw the VHS at the store when I was a kid, and of course, with me being a big fan of Thomas, I got the VHS, and I have to say, watching it like as a kid, I liked it, but even as a kid, I kind of know there were some problems with this. For one thing, I did not like how, when I was a kid, I didn't like how it was mostly focused on the humans in the Shining Time Station. I wanted to see Thomas, because, like, the name was called Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and as everyone pointed out, Thomas is not in it for very long. So that always kind of upset me when I was a kid, because I just wanted to see Thomas. I wanted to see the island of Sodor. I did not care for Shiny Time Station or Muffle Mountain. And but for some reason, like, I would still watch it, even though, like, there were still some issues I had with it. Like, even today, like, sometimes I will watch it from time to time, but even I'll admit, like, yeah, it's not really, as a movie as a whole, like, it's not a good movie. For a movie for, like, Thomas fans and for little kids, again, like, it's not like it's horrible or it's bad. It's just somewhere in a sort of way. Like, I could see some little kids probably liking this. I could see some Thomas fans might liking it as well. Though I do understand the major criticisms that both moviegoers and Thomas fans have with this movie. I'll probably get into more of that later, because I do want to review this movie in the near future. So, I probably won't go into too much detail in this. And, but the history on this is, like, it's pretty interesting, unlike how much they went into this. And yeah, I remember the trailer, because the VHS I had, Spills and Chills and Other Thomas Thrills, had the trailer where you just saw Thomas's original voice, who he was originally supposed to, who the voice actor was originally supposed to voice for Thomas. I remember that, as well as Diesel 10, and I had the DVD show the trailer on Diesel 10's other voice from the movie trailer. So, yeah. Again, like, this is not the worst movie I've seen. It's definitely not the worst in terms of, like, Thomas or movies in general, but it is kind of forgettable in some way. But, yeah, Diesel 10 was always one of my favorite villains as a kid. Like, every time he appeared on screen, I always chuckled up because of all the trouble and mischief he would get into, and such, especially with Splatter and Dodge. But now thinking about it, Splatter and Dodge are just really, really pointless. Like, they have no point of showing up in the movie at all. They're just there to be the comic relief. That's really all they are. So, yeah, I don't know what was the point of, like, having them in. I am kind of sad that they didn't use P.T. Boomer, but at the same time, it's like, would the movie kind of be any different if that was the case? I think in some cases you can argue, yeah, it would be, but in other cases, I don't know if it would. Oh yeah, if you're wondering where that footage about, I forgot the guy's name, but the one that was going to voice Diesel 10 again for the first time, where it said Test 3 under it, that's from another video that, if you know who Forgotten Media is, then you know where that's from, because, yeah, Forgotten, if you want to know, like, more full detail on, like, the background on Thomas and the Magic Railroad and what was changed and such, go check out his video. He explains a lot more and goes into much more depth than I did in this. Like, I wanted to try to go in some depth about what was changed and what was kept, but I didn't want to go too long and such, so I decided just to focus on the major stuff that was changed from the movies. But movies, this movie, never mind. But, yeah.
After all the changes and all the hard work they did.
Yeah, like I said, this, again, not a bad movie, just, not really all that great, so, I'm still trying to figure out some stuff to say, because, like, it's like, I don't know what else I can say in some parts, although I'm sure I will get to, like, some things I can say, especially with the next topic that we're going to be covering, that will be in pretty soon. But, yeah. No matter what, like, the classic series are always going to hold a special place in my heart. I truly do think those were, like, the golden age of Thomas. And, like, they'll always hold something special to me. I can watch them again and still enjoy them no matter what.
The music group and the company.
Alright, so now okay, let's talk about Hit now, and let's talk about Season 8 through 11. Because I remember, I think it was either during Season 9 or 10, one of those seasons, it was it was starting to be the time when Thomas wasn't really that much interesting to me anymore. It was starting to be the point where I didn't care for Thomas that much anymore. I stopped watching the show for a long while, so I knew most episodes from season 9, but I don't remember too much about them. And I hardly recognize some of the episodes from season 10. I didn't watch all the episodes. There was some I remember, but I don't think I watched all of them for the most part. And I knew nothing about season 11. The only thing I knew about season 11 was the Engines and Escape DVD. That was the only thing I knew about it. For some reason, I still saw the specials, because, like, I remember when I was a kid, and I saw the DVD of Calling All Engines, I saw Diesel 10 over there. I was really excited. I was hoping, I was really excited to get the DVD. So I got the DVD, and when I watched it, I was kind of disappointed as a kid. I was really expecting something, but again, it's not bad, but for what I got, it was kind of a letdown for me as a kid. And yeah, let's talk about Michael Brandon. I'll just say this up front. I don't hate Michael Brandon as much as other Thomas fans do. Now, that doesn't mean, I think he's the best narrator, because there are some points where, yeah, he sounds annoying, but especially since to be fair, I don't know too much about Michael Angelis. I don't know him in the earlier seasons, but with him in the later seasons onward, especially his voice for James and such, is where it started to get really bored. And I'll say this up front. I think Michael Angelis, in terms of James, I don't know his voice of the other engines, but in terms of voice of James, he can be really annoying as well. I know, I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm saying that's right. He could be Michael Angelis can be annoying as well in the new seasons. I mean, give Michael Brandon some credit. I mean, like Alec Baldwin and George Carlin, he does try to do some different voices for other engines. Did they always work? No. But at the same time, he's trying. And there were some engines that I think he did a good job of voicing. I kind of like his voice for Duncan. And his Donald Douglas one was okay, for the most part. Again, like I said, other engines, probably not as good, but some I thought he did okay.
7 minutes long instead of 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
And yeah, season 8 is probably the only season that I knew most of the episodes as a kid. And, yeah, like I said, this was during the point where, I was almost ready to quit Thomas. But then, sooner or later, I saw The Great Discovery, and I didn't know that as a kid, The Great Discovery was going to be the last time I'll see the models. And if you want to know my real thoughts on The Great Discovery, check out my review on that. It's on YouTube somewhere. But The Great Discovery, I thought The Great Discovery was pretty good for what it was. Again, probably not the best special, but then again, when are Thomas specials like Citizen Kane or anything? So I thought The Great Discovery was at least somewhat good. And yeah, again, I was kind of disappointed with this special when I was a kid. It's not that it was bad, but I was kind of expecting more. And for what it got, I'm still somewhat disappointed by this, but I'm not going to be too harsh on that special. And yeah, this was during the point where, I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to in this season. I tried my best to find some facts about each season, but the only facts I could find was something like this in season 9, where this was the first season Sharon Miller was the head writer. And again, with season 10, it was probably the only season, probably not might be the only season, but it was certainly one of the first seasons to have 2 extra episodes instead of what they originally get. And like I said, the only thing I knew about season 11 was the Engines and Escapes DVD. That was basically it. Like I said, I know nothing next to season 10 or 11. I know a little bit of season 10, but I know nothing about season 11. So I think I started watching Thomas again when season 12 came out, but I'll get onto more of that later, as well as the rest of the CGI. But after a while, Thomas stopped becoming interesting to me. That wasn't when I first discovered YouTube and I saw there were Thomas episodes there. And that was the first time I realized that Thomas was originally from the UK. I always thought Thomas was from the US. I didn't know that he originally came from the UK. and then Shining Time Station was the first time he was from the U.S., so that was interesting to me, and that's when I found all the old episodes that I watched as a kid, and some that I haven't seen when I was a kid, and I started to realize that, you know, the show is actually pretty good for what it was. So I started watching the new episodes again first. Well, some of them. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know too much about season 11 or the others. So I started watching them again, and I started buying the DVDs again with some of the new seasons, which again I'll get into more of that once we get to the next part soon. And yeah, like I said, if you want to know my real thoughts on the Great Discovery, check out my review on that. But Great Discovery, like I said, I didn't know this was going to be the last time they were going to use the models. So and like I said, what they got, they did pretty good. And Pierce Brosnan, I won't say he's a bad narrator, but at the same time, he is really not as much convincing as the others. Even Michael Angeles and Michael Brandon. So, and yeah, like I said, I heard that he was going to be the new narrator, but he left for unknown reasons, which I'm kind of glad that he wasn't a new narrator, because I think he probably would have been more boring than Michael Angeles and more annoying than Michael Brandon. And again, in my opinion, you don't have to agree with me on that. That's how I thought.
During the late 2000s.
Alright, so now let's get into the CGI series.
Short for computer
and much like okay, yeah, when I was a kid, like I think I already explained that back then during like season 10 and 11, I was actually no, it was season 9 through 10. I was starting to grow out of Thomas. Thomas was no longer being interest to me. But then I saw The Great Discovery and watched it again, and I now got back into Thomas, mostly the earlier stuff through like seasons 1 through 8. And I saw when I was at a store one time, and I saw that they had a new Thomas and Friends DVD, and I noticed that the face looked different. At first I thought it was, you know, they had a different face model or something for the engines. So I got the DVD and I watched it, and then when I noticed that the engines' mouths were moving, I was literally blown away. Like, I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know that this would be the last, that The Great Discovery would be the last time they would use the models. And I knew nothing that they were going to change the CGI soon. So seeing something like that was really astounding to me. Like I said, I'd never seen anything like it. So it was just mind blowing. And my first thought when I first saw the CGI in season 12, I thought it looked cool, but at the same time, watching it again, and I think Buzz Oliver and Blossom said this best too, that they shouldn't use both CGI and the models because it makes it look more awkward and, for me anyway, more creepy. So I understand why they want to do it, and I give them props for at least, you know, trying to do it, but I don't think it works. Like, it works out for the best for having both CGI and models at the same time. It should either be all models or just all CGI. So when I went to full CGI, I thought, well, this does look at least a bit more better. I mean, I like the looks on some of the engines. The place on Sodor looks actually cool as well, and they can actually use for some really great camera angles and such, especially in some of the later seasons as well too. So yeah, Hero of the Rails. I got it when I got that at the store. And another thing I didn't notice, or I didn't know they were going to do, was giving each engine a different voice actor. And I thought it was actually kind of cool to give them a different voice, because like I said, Michael Angeles and even a little bit of Michael Brandon both sounded like they were starting to get bored or something with the narration. So I thought it was a clever idea to give them different voice acting. And like I said, and some of them are good, some not so much. But some of the new engines they tried to give each voice do a good job as well. So
And Thomas and the
yeah, and so I started watching the CGI. I think much like the new season, it was during around season 13 and 14 where I noticed that the show was really starting to go downhill. Like, season 13 was bad, 14 wasn't all that bad, but it wasn't all that good either. And 15 was the one where, again, I started to stop watching Thomas again. But then I decided to at least give season 16 a chance. So I watched season 16, and 16 is not really all that bad. And then came, 17 and 18, where it actually started to be a little more decent, but I'll get on to more on that later. And of course, now with the CGI, we're starting to get more and more specials, which I kind of get why, it's for the kids and everything, and it is a nice idea to at least explore something new around Sodor. Hopefully that, at least will be addressed somewhere again in the show. And yeah, we get Diesel 10 coming back, and yeah, I am actually kind of glad that they're bringing back some of the engines from the Railway series, because at least, they're not going to be totally forgotten. At the same time, it's like, I think they're trying to do it a bit too much. Like, I really don't know how to explain it. I mean, like I said, I'm glad that that they're at least, bringing back the Railway series characters or the Classic series characters from the Model series. But the more I say, like, the more they're doing it, I think they're just more like, giving to the fans a bit too much. I really don't know how to explain it, but that's just, my thinking. And
season was supposed to be out.
Yeah, and
day of the Diesels.
Yeah, the other specials, Misty Island Rescue, I liked it at first, but watching it again, there were a lot of problems that I missed that I now ended up not liking the movie. And Day of the Diesels was okay for what it was. Wasn't good, wasn't bad. It still had some faults, but for the most part, it was just okay.
Hated the season.
And let's see. Yeah,
and Wonky Whistle.
Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out some stuff to say. Actually, in the next part, you'll notice that there was something that was kind of cut that I didn't know till watching it for too late. I'll let you know when we get to that part. But there's gonna be there was like a line or something that accidentally got cut for some reason. I don't know how it happened. So I guess it's mostly my fault for not, thinking it or such. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how it happened.
Robert's son Peter was helping with the soundtrack.
Yeah, and also, like I said, I was trying to find at least some new facts, and luckily, Day of the Diesels gave me some facts to work on with. At least it gave me something to work with. And I don't know.
Having not much to do in the movie.
Yeah,
the Diesels is being released.
Well, we got one more part after this, and excuse me. So I guess that once we get to the next part, I guess I'll start, saying thank you to everyone and such. And like I said, I will be reviewing more seasons of Thomas in the near future, as well as the specials and other shows. So be on the lookout for that.
Is there going to be no more Thomas?
Alright.
Or is it still going to be shown?
Alright, so now we're on the final part on Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, and I should probably explain that, like, I originally kind of wanted to do this as, like, a full kind of series, but I figured that maybe this will go on for a bit too long, and I didn't want it to spend all that much on editing. So I decided to at least split into different parts about each of the eras and what I wanted to talk about. So the first part was mostly about the Railway series, and the second to fourth part was about the Classic TV series. like how it came to be in the UK, how it came to the US, as well as the different narrations. 5 was more on the movie, because I figured I can have a lot to say on the movie. 6 was more on the new series era, what was changed and what was, you know, somewhat still kept and new to the show. Then 7 and right now is mostly the CGI era, from the nitrogen to today, where we are today.
In this special,
and like I said, I'm not doing part 9, part 10, or part whatever, because I've already ended it, so there'll be no point for me to go on with this history anymore. And like I said, not to say that I will never, you know, talk about Tale of the Brave or The Adventure Begins, because I will talk about them soon in the near future. Because, like I said, and I don't know how much I'm going to repeat myself here, but I am going to take a look at all the seasons and all the specials of Thomas the Tank Engine. So yes, I will talk about Tale of the Brave and Adventure Begins in the near future. And again, I think this part is also where I started to explain more on some of the stuff right here, on each of the specials and some of the seasons.
So after the movie,
and yeah, Arc Productions, I think Arc Productions is getting is a bit more cleaner and a bit more realistic in a sort of way than Nitrogen Studio in terms of like the railway and the island of Sodor while making a CGI. I never seen Romeo and Juliet, but I have seen Dolphin Tale. It's not that bad of a movie. But,
after Michael Brandon and Michael
yeah, I think pretty soon this is going to be coming the part where I mentioned where a line was cut, and I just went to explaining about the King of the Railway series, which I think we'll get to that later. I think the original line, like I think I was supposed to say the viewers, the review, I think it was like the Thomas fans' thoughts on the season so far, or yeah, this is the part right here where the line accidentally got skipped. I think it was supposed to be like a trivia to like, or like a fact about season 17 and how we're back to 26 episodes, and a little bit more on like such and such King of the Railway came out. I honestly don't know how that happened, but whatever. And yeah, now we're coming to the end. Like I said, I'm not going to do any more parts, but I will do another history like this sometime next year for my 4th year anniversary. So again, thank you for all for checking out this 2-year anniversary and still checking it out. Like I said, breaking at least over like 5,000 views in like one part is actually really, really interesting. I would never have guessed that this would happen. And like I said, I will talk about Tale of the Brave and the other new stuff sometime in the near future. And so again, thank you all for tuning in to the 2nd year anniversary. Sorry I didn't come up too much with my 3rd year anniversary, but you at least got a commentary, right? And just thank you, and look forward to my 4th year anniversary, where I'll do another history sometime in the near future, and you'll soon know what it is soon. So till then, this is Sakura the Diesel. Happy 3rd year anniversary to me. Thank you to all my reviewers and subscribers for not only this video, but for checking my other videos as well. And I'll see you at the next one pretty soon. So take care, everyone.